right, welcome to Battleground Believers. We're so thankful for you being here today. I want to give a shout out to Randy Barr and the 2 Bar Blues Studio. Although we're not there, he does have a studio, and you can utilize that to shoot music, podcasts, and other things like that. If you're interested in finding out about the 2 Bar Blues Studio, just email us at battlegroundbelievers.com and we'll give you all that contact information. I also want to give a shout out this morning to Freedom by Truth Ministries. Keith Pascalone and John Rowley, they're doing great things in Elkhart and want to continue to promote their ministry. If you're in the Elkhart area, or even if you're not, they're on Facebook. You can reach out to them. A great group of guys and great ministry. Also, Andrew Talamentes, Sunrise Church here in Fort Wayne. Next weekend is a Brave and Bold retreat, a men's retreat where men come together. Not that men are better than women, but there's just something powerful about a group of men coming together and pray and speaking on the Word of God. So we want to give a shout out to those. Those are ministries that we kind of partner with, and we thank them so much for being a part of the Battleground family or allowing us to be a part of their family. And again, like, share, subscribe does a lot for the channel. Helps us out, and we're trying to grow a ministry, not just in entertainment. We're not just trying to get famous. We're trying to spread the gospel, and we decided to do it through social media and podcasting. So again, back with my dad. He's still here. I have not annoyed him enough to make him want to go home.
He's on the verge.
He's on the verge, but they are getting ready to leave. You're going to Alaska, right?
Yep.
That's cool. They're going to take a little camper all the way, drive up to Alaska. So
be in Montana, Sweetgrass, Montana.
Sweetgrass, Montana. So they'll be on the road, so we'll be praying for them. If you guys are prayers in the audience, please pray for my dad. You will be missed. At least the first 25 minutes after you leave. And then after that, you'll be a figment of my imagination.
That's right. Melancholy will go away.
I'm just kidding. Now, but you guys stay in touch with us, and you have a website. What's your website?
Oh, Brad. I always joke with this is family. It's rickdunnickphoto.com, and we post all our travel pics on our album called Travel Pics. And this one is called Alaska. What month are we? May, April, June, July, August, September. We'll be back home in September.
But if you're really into photography, it's probably some of the best photography I've ever seen. And I'm not just biased because it's my father. He's been told by other people that he's really good at photography. But something you can look into. But again, the reason we're here is we're telling his story through your story. We want to see fingerprints of God throughout your life. And so far, the first 2 episodes, we saw, in hindsight, some fingerprints. And we kind of learned who you were and why you are the way you are, right? And so when we last left, you were married, and you guys were trying to avoid going to Okinawa, Japan.
It's a family.
As a family, but then it came to the point where you had to go, right?
Yeah, we were at Camp Lejeune, and the Marine Corps wanted to send Kim overseas. I'd already been, and I wanted to keep the family together. And there was a monitor tour, so we were able to get an independent duty in Wyoming, Pennsylvania. And from Wyoming, Pennsylvania, we had 2 more kids, Anthony and Adam. So we had Nicholas, Anthony, and Adam. And of course, you were here in Indiana. And then when our time came up in '86, the Marine Corps had orders. I wasn't eligible to go. I mean, I wasn't forced to go. Kim was. So again, to keep the family together, we were able to get a company tour over at Okinawa. And that's how we ended up in Okinawa. And it was an attempt to keep the family together. And then down the road, it's what destroyed the family.
Just side note, was Okinawa kind of a neat place? Like, as a Marine, like as a young man, outside of family and all the things that took place there, was it kind of neat being in Okinawa?
Absolutely, with a family. I was there first in '78, and as a young Marine, and it wasn't very attractive. And then in '86, it transformed completely, and it became more a family-oriented location. A lot of good training for the Marines, and I was with the artillery, and Kim was with Marine Corps Base, and 2 different lifestyles. I was with the combat unit, she was with the base unit, and I was
Yes.
getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to run battery PT, and I getting home till 6, 7 o'clock at night, and the separation and the stress of all that really wore on the relationship.
Hmm. Well, it kind of sounded like that. You kind of alluded to some facts that maybe that relationship was it was kind of breaking as it was, and this is probably the.
Yeah, it was in danger when we were in Pennsylvania, and I didn't know it. I was at the time so in love and just blind to a lot of the signs that are there. And one thing that was really missing was we weren't, minus the children, we weren't a marriage of three, man, wife with the Holy Spirit in between.
Hmm.
Okay, that wasn't. We went to church, but we were just doing the church,
Yeah,
and then
I think a lot of people are like that. They think, "Hey, I'm going to
yeah,
church. I'm good." And they miss the personal relationship, which we talk a lot about on this channel, is that personal relationship.
hmm
You can do all kinds of things in faith, and but unless you're reading your Bible, praying, and spending time with Jesus daily,
hmm
and have that personal relationship, it says at the end, there's going to be people that are going to come and say, "Lord, Lord, didn't we do this?" And He says, "Flee from me, for I never knew you." So the
hmm
idea is not that you know Him, but that He knows you, and that you guys have a
right,
relationship.
yeah, absolutely, and that was absent. Looking back,
So you're in Okinawa. Your marriage is starting to crumble. It's probably getting. Is it becoming obvious to you at this point?
very obvious,
Okay. And
direct.
so when I left, I said there was a blessing that came out of this. How
Yep.
did that? Let's talk about that. Like, what was that, and how that take place?
We always wanted a girl, and we had Adam and Anthony, and then I had a vasectomy, and then Kim in Okinawa had issues, and she had a hysterectomy. So having another child was definitely out of the question. So in doing anything to save the family, I thought, hey, we'll adopt. So and the church we were at were adopting children from the Philippines. So we did that, and that's how Danielle came into our life. And we took Danielle out of poverty in Manila, and she had a hernia, she had vitamin deficiency, she had lice, she had all these things, and she was like 2.5 months old. And I was with her in the Philippines for like 2 weeks,
Just you.
just me,
Uh,
and we got weaned her off of rice water. I still have the clothes that she had when I got her, which was little yellow footies, cloth diaper, and a T-shirt. And then I brought her back to Okinawa with the beautiful pink dress and all this. And then we went through the process of going through NIS and immigrations to be able to bring her back to Okinawa or back to the States. And that was a lengthy
I
process.
was gonna say that there was a lot of problems there, right?
Yeah, there were quite a few problems, and there were things I needed, and I wrote a letter to the father that I needed certain documents, and mailed it, and went to the Gulf War. And Danielle stayed with an Air Force family while I went to the Gulf War.
Okay, so let's back up here because
hmm
people are going to be confused. You're married, you
hmm
got a wife and kids, and now all of a sudden Danielle has to stay somewhere else. What took place there?
Well, Kim was applied for a warrant officer commission and got it. So she took the kids and sent them back to her parents in Ohio. And this is 89.
Oh, so you're still married at this
They were
point?
still married at this point, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah, and
my fella.
then the Gulf War, we're separated. I think after the Gulf War is when we were able to get the divorce final.
Okay, so you separated in this moment where you guys were still married, but she's like, I don't want to be married anymore. When did that happen? Right after the.
Oh, shortly after we got in Okinawa, the marriage was falling apart, and I saw this as a way to salvage it.
But it wasn't.
Oh no, definitely. If you ever think about bringing a child into a broken marriage, don't do it. However, uh, we saved Danielle's life, and Danielle saved my life.
Yeah, and she now,
She's almost 40 years old and has a
man.
daughter that looks just like her.
Yeah, no,
And
beautiful girl.
yeah, and every time we get together, it's like, why you keep calling me Danielle? So I'm sorry, you look just like your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things are falling apart. You go to war, right? You're in the Gulf War. I remember.
Desert Shield, Desert Storm.
I remember my mom came in and said, "Brad, your dad, your dad's going to war. And I said, what? He's going to the Gulf War, because that was big news. And that's all that was on the news at the
Hmm.
time. And she said, he has an opportunity to call you tonight. He's going to call you. And you called me, I think, right before you shipped out or you were somewhere in transition.
Hmm.
When you go to war, you don't, like, you don't just, sometimes you don't just go, you make your way there. But
Hmm.
anyway, I remember you called me and we talked, and
Hmm.
right, because then I thought after I hung up, there's a chance he could die. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I have a vivid memory of that. But anyway, so you go off to war, and how long were you in Iraq? Or
Uh, we got there in January and left in April, so it was real quick.
yeah, about 4 months.
Yeah, about 4 months. Yeah.
Did you Were you involved in combat operations or?
Support. No, I was in the middle of nowhere,
Okay.
and I had a chance. However, we had a reserve unit with us, and the guy that was with them, that he couldn't be trusted with anything. So the battalion commander pointed on the side and said, "Hey, look, Rick, you're staff. I was a staff sergeant. I was a gunny select." And he says, "I know you want to go with us, but you're better served right here with these Marines than going with us, because the staff sergeant from 14th Marines and out of Philly, I think, we can't leave him here." And I just sucked the bullet and said, "Whatever you do, I sir. God left me there for a reason."
Well, yeah. Who knows what would happen
Yeah,
if you're going down range?
yeah.
So, okay. So now, you fly back you come back from the war,
Hmm.
and you get Danielle. Right?
Hmm.
You
So
come
go back to the
home.
family. Yeah, we go back home.
I think I
And
saw. No, did I see you? I don't think I saw you.
no, I couldn't come home because of Danielle. We're still working on the immigration issues to where we can come
Oh
back
yeah,
with
you were
Danielle.
home
Yeah,
back in
yeah,
Okinawa, but you didn't fly
yeah.
back to the U.S. You had
I
just
did. When I came back, I had to come back to the States to file for divorce, and Uncle Don did the divorce,
wait.
and
I
that's
think I
when I
did
saw
see
you did
you.
see me, and then I flew back
Uh,
to Okinawa, and Danielle stayed with an Air Force family lived next to us.
I remember because I had a Danny Way skateboard and had two anarchy signs
Yeah, and I got
on
a
the grip
picture of
tape.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah. So
yeah.
okay, sorry, reminiscent here.
Hmm.
So you come back to stage, file for divorce, and then you go back. So what kind of things took place? Like, so now you're with this little girl. You're a single dad. You have kids in Indiana and wherever Kim took the boys.
They stayed with their grandparents in Ohio.
Okay, and you wanted you wanted a family so bad that you had to be. Were you devastated inside? Like, hey, I
Oh,
can't believe my
I
marriage.
was emaciated. It was terrible. I would lay on the floor and pray, prostrate myself to save my marriage. So when you pray and your prayers don't get answered, they do get answered, just in a way you may not want.
Bro, I told you in the first episode, you break down. I don't have enough testosterone in his body not to cry,
We
so
get this from our Father,
we gotta
and you
hold
get
it.
this from me.
We
Yeah.
gotta hold this down,
But
man.
there's a song, "Thank God for Unanswered Prayers." Man, that was one that was, "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, thank you, thank you." She was miserable. Didn't realize how miserable I was until it was gone.
Mm.
And I have a picture at home of me with my boys at the airport, and that was the last time I saw them as a family. Then I didn't. I saw them when I came back to to see them when I got the divorce. We got the divorce, and then that was it until I came back from Okinawa in 1993.
So, what was your life like as a single dad in the Marine Corps in Okinawa? Because you told me
Well, I
some.
depended on two things. I depended on a car and a babysitter, because I would deploy off island to Korea or Fuji, Japan, and I needed to have a babysitter. Plus, we'd go out in the field, and you know, in the battalion, we would have battery PT at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had X number of Marines, and there was no clock. You
Right.
got people getting in trouble. You got all kind of things going on,
Yeah.
and
Well, they used to
so
say in the
it
go ahead.
was the babysitter with a car was key. I need to be able to move. But the battalion and the Marine Corps was extremely gracious, because I thank God I was in a combat unit, because I was supposed to leave Okinawa as a family in 1989, and the Marine Corps kept me there because we did request to extend my overseas tour, and with the understanding that I was trying to resolve these issues through immigration to get Danielle to bring her back to the family, back to the States legally. And as I said, I remember earlier I made a comment that I wrote the father. I needed certain documents from the father.
Mm-hmm.
I come back in the Gulf War and I go to the mailbox, and there's a letter from the father. Terrible grammar, misspelling, but impeccable handwriting. And basically it said, I understand you need my help. And I said, this is what I need. Here's $500. And then I get a letter a few weeks later. Hey, I took the whole family to Manila. We got arrested for jaywalking, and I used all that money to get out of jail, and I need more money. I'm like,
So he's
you know,
extorting you for
yeah,
money.
yeah. I was like, I wrote another letter back, and I sent him, I think, $250. I said, if you love this child, you'll do what I'm asking you. And I'm saying half what I sent you the first time because I don't really think. I hope you don't think I believe the word you just told me in this letter.
Mm-hmm.
And I never heard from him again. So other things came, more God moments came, that opportunities were to where I would be able to, because I had to be investigated. And when Kim and I adopted Danielle, we went through the Japanese courts, and the Japanese judge was educated in Harvard. And then when Kim left, I was told, I never really pursued it. I just believed that the adoption was null and void. So I had to go and get investigated by NIS. So I was investigated by NIS, and then I had to go back through the Japanese court system to readopt Danielle as a single parent.
So that they suspected that you did something wrong.
No,
Oh,
no, it's
okay.
just a was I a competent person to
Oh,
raise a
okay. You
child?
said investigate. I thought you meant they were
Well,
like,
if
oh, this is
anytime you
crooked.
do an adoption, there's an investigation to
Yeah,
make sure there's no issues or things like that.
yeah.
So got through that, and then I when the adoption process was over, the it's a God moment. The guy that did the first adoption, the judge, was the same one that did it the second time. And
And
when
he
it was,
didn't recognize you.
he says, "I remember you. Good luck. I remember you." It was a pretty profound moment, because Danielle's, this was like 3 years ago. I mean, from the time we first did it.
So Danielle's three-ish.
Yeah, 3 or 4, yeah. Yep. And then I would always go to Naha, and I had this, and you want to talk about prejudice. Prejudice is just not limited to black and white.
Right.
Everywhere I went, I faced discrimination. Like, what's this white boy doing with this baby, or white
Yeah.
man with this baby? Because I always had a thing around my neck with my ID, because I was always carrying Danielle on my arms.
Yeah.
And what I said about, I saved Danielle from the obvious, and Danielle saved me from myself. I mean, I lost everything I'd ever worked for. My career was hanging by a thread because I didn't care. I wanted to die because I lost my kids are gone, but I have Danielle, and Danielle was the thing that was like
You couldn't give up
you
because
couldn't give up, because
you
Danielle, this
needed you.
little child, I all, I'm all she has, and in my mind, I'm all, or she's all I have.
Yeah.
And if she would have stayed there, she would be dead a long time ago.
Right.
So then, um, it's in September of 1993, and we go to Naha, and they stamp my paperwork. Yeah,
You mean you can't do this, man? I told you. You can't.
there's some stuff that's tough, but I had been looking at glass for so many years and being rejected, and God help me, I can't do this. My family was back here fighting and getting lawyers and whatnot, and everything was coming up, no good, no
Yeah,
good.
because you couldn't come back to the states, right?
Not with Danielle.
Right.
And then they approved it, and I remember looking in the window and just seeing tears come down my eyes, and turn around, and everybody looking at me, Okinawans, Japanese, Americans, and I just saw, I felt dirty, like I always felt dirty, but I
Mm-hmm.
somewhat felt vindicated, like this part is over.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think 4 or 5 days later, we were getting orders to come back to DC, or back to the States,
You,
me and Danielle.
Danielle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So Wow, I didn't know some of that stuff over there, but there's something that happened to you that you're glossing over, which I think is amazing. You,
I got to be very careful. There's a lot of sensitive stuff
well,
here.
yeah, but during that time, you started training and started learning a martial art, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I got into martial arts off base, Matsumoto Shorin-ryu. I was the only American there. I had a sergeant in the Gulf War, Sergeant Barker, who was married to an Okinawan, and that's how I got into the dojo. And at the time, he and I were the only ones. And then his first name's Rob. He wanted to get a college degree, and I was going to college off and on, trying to get my credits. And but Danielle just dominated so much.
Oh yeah.
And then I got into the martial arts, and Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I was always at the dojo. And Rob went on to pursue a master's degree off base to the satellite campuses from the states.
Mm-hmm.
And Danielle would go with me because Danielle and I went everywhere because she had the babysitter through the week,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had her. It was just her and I, and so she would go upstairs at the sensei's house because his dojo was below, and it was just like you think in Japan: the hardwood floors, no air conditioning, fan, um, little drinking fountain, primitive martial art things, like things you put your hands in, and
Mm-hmm.
all these things. And so when we came back from Okinawa, Danielle thought she was Japanese because she played with all the Japanese kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You're not Japanese, you're Filipino." So it's 3 years, and the dojo had two belts, white and black. And I got promoted to black belt on Friday, and the following Monday, I'm flying back to the States.
Well, the reason I bring this up is so you come back, you're now black belt in like real.
But I'm not. I just got it. And where the style we learn, when you receive your black belt, that's when you begin. That's when the real learning process starts.
Right.
I missed that. I
Well,
got the
yeah.
foundation, and then so he told me. My sensei said in broken English, when you get back, continue to train. So one of the first things I did once we got established in Fairfax, because I was assigned to headquarters Marine Corps, was I looked for a martial arts place, and there were like 20 colors around the walls, the carpet on the floor. I mean, and I showed up in the dojo with my white belt. The white belt was pretty dirty. It had blood on it, and it had my name in kanji because every time somebody had come into the dojo, they would say, "Oh, name wa nan desu ka?" Well, what's your name? And I would say, "Rick Dunning desu dojo rusku onegashimasu." And they would like, "What?" So the sensei's wife came over and took my belt and wrote my name on it. So anytime anybody walked in the dojo
You
and
just
asked me
showed
my
him the
name, I
belt.
go, "Dozo, Rick Dunning desu dojo rusku onegashimasu." I'd be like,
Well, the reason I brought this up is I remember we were down at my grandpa, your dad's house.
mm-hmm.
It's me, you, and Randy. I was in the army. I'd flown in with Randy.
Yeah. We were going PT, and Dad told me don't hurt him. I'm like, what are
Well,
you talking about?
well, we PT'd
Yeah,
together,
we sure did.
and my memory was Grandpa said, "Don't hurt him."
Yeah,
To you, to
yeah,
me,
yeah.
to you.
Wait a
Uh,
minute. He said that to you?
yeah, he said
Oh, he
that
said
to
it to
me.
me as
Yeah,
well.
he didn't want me to kill
Uh,
you. Anyway, you were
Interesting.
talking about it, and the one thing I remember is there's this metal pole in the middle of the basement. We're standing down there talking, and you are at full power kicking the crap out of this pole because that said that they taught you how to do that so it makes your bones strong.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like the whole house is shaking, and then you're like, "Oh, let me show you something," and I'm like, "Okay, this is cool." You're like, "Just throw a punch." I threw a punch. You caught my arm. You kicked me in the chest. My freaking rib cage unwrapped, wrapped around your leg, and then wrapped back. And I'm over in the corner like, "Oh, I'm gonna die!" And you're like, "I barely touched you, Brad."
that
And
was
I'm like,
30. That was
"No,
30 years. See,
that you didn't barely touch
the
me."
style, the style of martial arts that I was with was focused a lot on body conditioning. I mean, get your bones hard, and you get a bottle and just roll it like this,
Oof.
and on your shins. And they had a piece of 4-inch plastic pipe come out of the wall, wood, and then 4-inch PVC,
Yeah.
and you would do this, and you would kick it. And we talk about Rob. They called him Roboto San. He was extremely strong, just massive strength and power. And I'd been there about 2 years, and I always showed up dojo early because overachieving. and I was kicking this thing, and I was kicking it hard, man. I mean, I was really kicking it hard. And Sensei came down, and he comes around the corner and says, "Roboto-san." I said, "Oh, no, 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 no." He says, "Sugoi," like, wow. That was a compliment to me because he thought Rob was in the dojo
Oh, because
training
the
because
yeah.
the power that was coming upon this piece of pipe.
Mhm.
So yeah, because when you watch these martial arts shows and people are doing this and doing that, when you do this and do that, it hurts. But if your arms are conditioned and your legs are conditioned, you don't feel it. They're like
Well, yeah.
numb.
I mean, I
And
get
it
yeah.
took about 2 years to, because I remember the first time I got hit, man, I was like, I can't do this. It's killing me. And they look at me like, I just touched you, just like I did you.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean, so I watched I watched the Karate Kid and I watched Cobra Kai, so
mhm.
I pretty much understand karate, right? I'm just kidding. I don't understand anything about it. But yeah, but I remember I as a kid I was impressed because I thought that's like
It
that
was a
to
great experience. It was a way for me because I'm in shape, obviously, being in the Marine Corps, and now everything's behind me. We're working forward, and I'm Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I mean, the only time they shut the dojo down was during the New Year. If Christmas fell on a Friday, they're training because they don't celebrate that. And after you're done training, it's not lights out. It's like let's train. And we have a water fountain there, and there'd be everybody's name, and my name was there, and that's how you found out when you got tested. Your name, you didn't know. It's like in 6 months I'm going to test. You test when the sensei thinks you're ready. So their head was writing by my name, and I'm like looking at it, and Hongo-san, who's another speed light and black belt, says you test on Friday because there was broken English. I mean, I was learning Japanese, but like
mm,
itai means hurt, and Moyuku means more faster,
mhm,
telling me faster, faster. I'm like,
mhm.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
So it was like you're testing, like, oh my goodness. So I'd show up there Friday and you test, and then the following Monday they'd have a certificate, and you would, with the sensei, you'd take your belt off, give it to the sensei, then he would give it back to you because there's 10 cues, and then you go through the cues, and then when you attain the black belt from testing, then all the black belts in the dojo would buy your belt. So my belt has my name on one side and it has the dojo on the other. So again, when I came back to States, I was not worthy to wear a black belt because I hadn't begun to learn. I just started learning at the black belt. This was the mentality, and I believe that. So I showed up with a white belt, and they're getting dressed, and my gi is it's a really good gi. I mean, it's wore out, got blood stains on my belt, and it's kind of black from the dirt in 3 years of my name and Nihongo and Japanese. And I remember this kid standing there. He's like, "Who are you?" And then I pull my belt. He says, "Oh, you're nobody." I'm like, "Wow, that's a terrible mentality. You have no idea about
Well,
me."
well, you came from Japanese culture to back to
To
American.
commercialize martial arts,
Yeah.
right? And so we go out there, and I'm lost. I mean, it's a totally different style, and then the instructor's a brown belt, and all these belts there, and what they had this thing on the wall with a pad behind it. Well, in Okinawa, you just had a leather strap, and you just bang this thing. Well, they had a pad behind it. Like, what's the purpose of this? And the floor was carpet, so you get flag burns and whatnot.
Mhm.
And I remember afterwards, I trained with the instructor. Well, I kicked him and I hurt him. I didn't kick him hard,
Yeah. He
but
didn't
I
kick him
kicked
hard.
him. And we're Mashugeti, where we're going back and forth sparring, and just boom. And then that was it. And then he made a comment like, "I got to go. I got another dojo to open." So it was totally commercialized. I said, "This isn't for me.
So
I'm
you didn't
done."
stay with U.S. Karate,
No, that was it. One time.
and then never
Then I
darkened the
focused on
door.
my career and Danielle and family and trying to assimilate back into America because I've been gone for 8 years.
Okay.
And I just cannot believe
Well,
the change.
we're actually winding down
Yeah.
now, and so this will set us up in your final episode where we talk about
Oh,
life
I'm
in
dead
the
already?
life in yeah
Yeah.
life in the U.S.
Yeah.
D.C. and you really excelled while you were in D.C. And so try to hopefully you can share some of that stuff and maybe a few really cool stories, and then uh, how you met Kim and or Kim,
Teresa.
how you met.
Yeah.
So that sets us up for the next set of your story, which is time in DC and your accomplishments. You're a humble guy, and so
Yeah, I don't
you.
really want to talk about my accomplishments.
Well, I don't. I understand that, but
'Cause
you
I stand
signed a
on the shoulders of a lot of
Yeah, you
people.
stood on. You signed a contract that said you come in here and do this interview. I'm paying you for this.
Yeah. Oh.
Free room and board. Just kidding. But now that's where our focus is, and we're going to carry through maybe some bright spots in DC to, and then I want to work short time on that, and then talk about um, coming to faith, and then spend time talking about how you go to church and how your life changed radically
Mm-hmm.
after it
After
was no
the
longer just a religion; it was a personal thing. Okay.
Yeah, and that's something that transpired within the last 3 years when we moved out of Virginia.
Okay, well, slow down there. Slow
Slow
your roll,
down.
bro. That's the next episode.
Okay.
That's a little teaser for you. Hey, again, Battleground Believers, we appreciate you so much for being part of the audience. Please like, share, subscribe. The interesting conversation. I know it went a little long, but as a son, I'm watching my dad talk about things that some things I never heard him talk about, and I kind of got lost in the moment. And so I hope you enjoyed it, and continue to come back. And thank you again so much for watching and supporting this ministry. We want it to be a ministry, right? So,
Yeah, absolutely.
hey,
All glory to God.
all glory to God.
That's right.
So, as I always say, all that call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Battleground believers, out.